Uncorroborated. Let's bring in Kevin McCarthy, Minority Leader. Congressman, thanks for joining us, Leader McCarthy. When you look at how this story is going, Chuck Schumer says, what's worse, not knowing or knowing and not doing anything about it? How do you answer him?
What I think is worse is what Chuck Schumer is playing into. He's playing politics with American lives by saying what he's saying. We all know that Russia is dangerous to America. That's why this administration, the Trump administration, changed from the Obama administration of a resetting. What the president did was gave weapons to Ukraine. What the President Trump did is also put sanctions on Russia. President Trump is doing everything he can to protect our American troops. But the idea of leaking information, not even knowing whether it's true or not in the process, and playing it out in politics is dangerous to all Americans who serve in our military anywhere in the world. This is not a place for this. Chuck Schumer is part of the Gang of Eight as I am myself. And this is not the way we should handle this situation or classified information and play it out into politics.
Well, it certainly is not illegal for the New York Times to print the story, and everybody's picked it up, but it is illegal, whoever inside the government did leak it to the New York Times, essentially. But ultimately, let's say it is true, Leader McCarthy, and Russia did pay, and I know there's some concern about whether or not a car bombing in April of 2019 resulted in the deaths of 3 Marines. Ultimately, if it did happen and Russia did pay to have Americans killed, what are we going to do to Russia?
Well, there'd be many options of what we could do to Russia. The one thing you do have to find right now, find out if it is true. I know individuals are saying they have questions on both sides. Let's get all the information and let's not play this out into the public. Let's get the real information so those on hand can do the actions that we need to hold back. The one thing I do know that this president has done, though, stronger sanctions against Russia by any other president, standing up to them, also giving Ukraine weapons where Obama would only give them blankets. I mean, let's handle this in the manner in which we should, making sure we're protecting our troops first and foremost, that regardless whoever ever looks at American troops, that they will have consequences for any actions that they go after.
So, Congressman, I was talking to a friend yesterday. She's in Georgia at Sea Island, and she said they're on the beach and all their kids, and they have to wear masks on the beach, and they're requiring that. She said they're burning up hot, but they're requiring it, and even the little ones, her little 3-year-old has to wear a mask. She said it's annoying, but she wants to stay safe. In your home state of California, they're doing the same thing. They're actually closing the beaches in some parts of your state for the July 4th weekend, shutting down bars now and mandating the mask because we're seeing a rise in cases. What's your advice for your home state?
Well, for my home state, I do believe in wearing masks. I do not want to shut the economy back down. Every day we learn more information about this virus. What we're learning now is it's not being passed by utensils and others, what we thought early. It actually is the droplets from individuals to another one. So wearing a mask, social distancing, not touching your face and washing your hands is a way that we can continue the economy opening up. In my home community, it's not the bars as much that is passing from the health community telling me, it's from within their own homes. So we need to continue to practice the social distancing.
Yeah, shelter in place is not going to fly in this country again. I hope lawmakers realize that. But let's add to this, and I don't know what you do with this stat. We get a lot of this. But if you look at the deaths in this country, even 2 weeks ago, 11% of all deaths were due to COVID-19. Now, even though the cases are going up, it goes from 11 to 7. So more people are getting it and surviving with it. Number one, it could be that maybe this virus is not as severe. This version of the virus is not as severe. Number two, younger people are getting it, but they survive it and they're immune to it. So is that a good thing?
Well, a good thing would be nobody getting the virus, and that would be China not lying to the rest of the world. I mean, the study says 95% of this never would have happened had China not lied. Well, it is here now and something we didn't invite here. The thing we are knowing as the American ingenuity, we're testing 600,000 people a day, well, more than 31 million. No other country can do that. So as you test more, you will find more. But what we're also doing from our health community and from our science and medicine, we're finding better ways of treatment. And that's what you're finding here, that people are getting treated faster because they're being tested sooner. They're getting the treatment and healthier as we go through this. One thing about America, we will overcome this. We will find a vaccine. We're finding therapies for it. And we will actually not only save America, but save the rest of the world from what China lied to us and put havoc and death throughout this world.
Yeah. Leader McCarthy, you've said that everybody should wear a mask. What about the president? You know, he's made it clear he doesn't want to wear a mask, but his federal government says everybody should wear a mask. Don't you think it would be a powerful symbol if the president of the United States would put on a mask and understand what so many people around the country are doing to try to slow down the spread of this thing?
Remember, I say wear a mask, but when you see me speak on the floor when nobody else is around me, I'm not wearing a mask at that time.
Sure.
When you see the president speak, I think the social distancing. I've known the president to have worn masks at times as he goes forward. I do think the health of the nation and make sure this economy down. That is not the approach to take. With the more information we have, knowledge today, wearing the mask is the best opportunity for us to keep this economy open, keep us working, keep us safe, and help us as we build towards that vaccine where we're in a much stronger position than any other country before us.
Sure. And Leader McCarthy, you know, we actually all have to wear a mask to get into this building. When we go into the green room, we have to as well. So we take it off when we're on TV, just as you do when you speak as well. I just don't see any downside in the president being seen more often wearing it. It's symbolic. Obviously, it's patriotic because you're not only protecting yourself, you're protecting other people. I've heard that there are people around the president who say, no, you shouldn't wear it. But nonetheless, it would be a powerful symbol.
It would. I mean, for the 4th of July, we could all show our patriotism with a red, white, and blue mask going out there.
Great idea.
Strength.
So, Mr. Leader, Steve Scalise was tweeting out about the proxy vote thing. So Nancy Pelosi saying she's extending the proxy vote. She was doing it for 45 days. She started it on May 20th. And for folks at home that don't know what that is, it's where she's telling the folks in the House that they can stay at home if they don't feel comfortable coming to Washington. They can vote from home, and they can participate in their committee meetings from home. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it is, right?
Yes, what it is shadow voting. What it is giving all your votes to Nancy Pelosi. So if you voted for your member of Congress, she or he, they no longer have the power. They turned it over to Nancy Pelosi. They stay home. They're getting paid for not working. Congress is essential. We work through yellow fever, through the burning of this Capitol.
So they're not even
War I,
working
World
through
War II.
Zoom? Because a lot of people are doing this. A lot of companies are doing this. I know Republicans said it's unconstitutional. Steve Scalise says she's extending her proxy voting scheme for another 45 days. Americans get back to work. Dems extend their free pass to skip work altogether. But are they not working at all?
No, they don't show up. Work in Congress means you are the representative for your district. They have loaned you the power. They have loaned you the voice. So who is the voice for you if you go to Congress? If you're not voting on the floor, another member walks up and says, Kevin McCarthy wanted to vote this way. That's all the work you do. And if you want to vote by proxy, you have to sign a letter that you're physically unable to be here. Well, what do we find? Charlie Crist said he was unable to come to Congress, but he got in a car and drove for 2.5 hours to try to watch a launch of a spaceship. That's what he decided to do instead of represent his people? If you are not on the floor to give the voice of your district, you miss the whole opportunity, and that becomes law.
Right, and if you're too much of a high risk, maybe you shouldn't run for re-election. China, in particular, has now passed a controversial security law, Goodbye Hong Kong. We're witnessing the takedown of that autonomous region of China. That deal is done, and we are going to stop with our special status there in response. What I feel is bad for the people of Hong Kong. They're essentially going to be smothered by mainland China.
It's not only bad for Hong Kong, it's bad for the world. Not only did China lie to the entire world so thousands of people have died, China has not only lied to the entire world, they put their name on a piece of paper of a treaty of how they would handle Hong Kong for 50 years, and now they just showed they would never keep their word. When they built the islands and they told Obama that they'd never weaponize them, they lied there too. When they steal our technology and say they do not, they lie there too. When they send people over into our universities and we have to arrest them when they're getting on the airplane with our secrets, they lie then too. And they lie when they paid for the Harvard professor to steal the secrets inside the technology that he was working on.
Do you know what they're doing to the Uyghurs now?
Wake up?
Do you know what they're doing to the Uyghurs now? They are sterilizing, aborting, and making them use IUDs to make sure that that Muslim population withers, as if the concentration camps they set up aren't bad enough. Where's the world condemnation there? Where's the Muslim community there?
Yeah, and you know what else they're doing to Australia? Australia simply wants to know, where did this virus come from? Let's figure it out. They are punishing them to even look at the information. Why did they not allow our scientists to come in and help contain this? Why did they influence the World Health Organization to lie to the rest of the world so thousands of people have died?
Well, we should step up for Australia. We should fill in the iron ore that they're not getting, and we should help them out with trade. They're arguably our most loyal ally. Hopefully the president will do that.
We should also change our supply chain, where these companies come back to America. You know what else happens July 1st? USMCA. The strongest treaty you can find when it comes to North America or anywhere else in the world. So if you are a company inside China and you're thinking about moving, don't think about Vietnam. Think about North America.
Absolutely.
I know Japan is rising up, moving their supply chain back. We should do the same. This is something that President Trump warned us about, not as candidate Trump, but as citizen Trump.
All right.
This is what needs to happen in the next administration, is why he needs another 4 years.
Leader Kevin McCarthy, we thank you very much for your view
you.
from the top. Thank you, sir. Have a good Independence Day week. All right.
You too.